Hi, I'm Carter Coudrier. I'm the video producer here at the Daily Pennsylvanian, and welcome to the revamped version of This Week on 33rd Street. I'm here with sports editor Lane Higgins and senior sports editor Riley Steele, and today we're going to be doing something a bit different. We're going to be going through 3 hot issues in Penn athletics, and in 1 minute, our 2 editors here are going to discuss them and try to boil them down. So first, let's start with Penn basketball. The team's in a bit of a standstill. They haven't met much success this season. They just had a really tough loss to Villanova, and the job of the coach, Jerome Allen, may be on the hot seat. So, you guys are on the clock. Let's discuss.
Well, I was talking about this with some people earlier. Assuming that Penn basketball loses to St. Joe's this weekend, that'll be 4 non-conference wins, which is an improvement over last year's 3 non-conference wins. I think you're absolutely right, Carter. I think that Jerome Allen is, and he rightfully should be on the hot seat. I know the contract situation may be a reason to keep him, on this team moving forward. They do have a good young core, but the results just simply haven't been there this year.
Okay, yes, the numbers are dismal, but the freshmen seem to be coming up and coming into their own. Antonio Woods is, I think, the 5th player to be named Ivy League Player of the Week, and look at Mike Auger. He's one of the most efficient players on the team, although he doesn't get a lot of minutes. I think that even though Jerome hasn't had a lot of time with these players, he's done a good job mentoring them so far. You never know what could happen in the future with recruiting classes that might attract as well.
So Penn wrestling this weekend heads up to Ithaca to play the highly ranked number 6 Cornell team. Obviously a big matchup for Penn wrestling, a big matchup heading into the end of the season. What can you tell me about this vital matchup?
Well, if there's anything that you need to know about this weekend's matchup between Penn and Cornell on the mats, it's this. Whoever wins between those 2 teams is most certainly guaranteed to win the EIWA championship at the end of the season. You know why? Because for the past, no kidding, 25 years, the winner of that matchup has gone on to win the EIWA title. Unfortunately, in most cases, it hasn't been Penn. One matchup to focus on this weekend is number 1 Gabe Dean for Cornell against number 5 Lorenzo Thomas. Last year, Lorenzo Thomas went 0-3 against Gabe Dean after going 3-0 against him 2 years ago, so it's a bit of a toss-up this week.
Although this year, against opponents that are ranked in the top 5, Lorenzo Thomas is winless. He has only faced 2 so far, though, so he's still rather untested. And another marquee matchup will be in the 149-pound weight class with CJ Cobb against Cornell's Delonta. So there'll be lots of excitement to watch up in Ithaca.
So Penn women's basketball. They're good and they're bad from this season. On one hand, this is the first time in school history that we have a share of a Big 5 title. On the other hand, we didn't win it outright, and we're likely not going to win our 2nd Ivy title. What can you guys tell me about the women's basketball team heading into this final stretch?
Yeah, it's a really tough loss. It was 70-44 from Villanova. They got destroyed in shooting in the first half. Wildcats were almost 60% in their shooting and just had raining threes on Penn. And it's a learning experience, definitely, to face a team of that caliber, and it's something that they can take into the next game against Princeton, for sure.
Last year after Penn beat Princeton to win the Ivy title, I said that this team wasn't going anywhere. And I still believe that Penn women's basketball is here to stay and it's here to be a force in the Ivy League. Unfortunately, this year, without a dominant scorer, without an experienced point guard, and matched up against one of the only undefeated teams left in women's basketball, it doesn't seem to be the year for Penn in the Ivy League. But that's not to say that this year's been a disappointment at all. As you guys mentioned, they have a share of the Big 5 title, although no one really wants to share anything with Temple and Villanova. They also have a chance to finish 2nd in the Ivy League and get that NIT bid. So what really matters is this next stretch of games. They have a game against NJIT on Saturday, and then it's 13 games to see if they can get some sort of postseason bid.
And that's your time, and that's our time. So, join us again next week for This Week on 33rd Street with Lane Higgins and Riley Steele. I'm Carter Coudrier. Thanks for watching.
Good night, America.